I don't know whether or not this is a popular opinion, but Cars 3 is my favourite of the three Cars films. I had never seen any of them until a couple of months ago when I watched the first one. I really liked it. I watched the second one. There were things that I thought were stronger than the first film, and in some cases there were things that I thought were not done as well as the first film. With the third one, I feel like it's got a very different vibe to the first film, for very obvious aging reasons. But personally, I really, really preferred it. I thought it was a lot funnier. I don't know if that's maybe because it's slightly more contemporary. It's bringing things like virtual reality into it and making it a lot more contemporarily comedic. I don't know. Particularly the character of Cruz made this really lovely. The character development we have for Lightning McQueen throughout this, I just think it's absolutely beautiful. There may be spoilers in this discussion for the previous two films, but I won't spoil anything with this film itself. Cars 3 was released in 2017, directed by Brian Fee, and obviously we have Owen Wilson voicing the brilliant Lightning McQueen. We also have Cristela Alonzo as Cruz Ramirez. I love Cruz, and I will certainly talk more about Cruz in a moment. The rest of the voice cast, obviously fantastic. Armie Hammer, Larry the Cable Guy, Chris Cooper, Nathan Fillion, Bonnie Hunt. I have no complaints. Of course, we have the brilliant and personal favourite of mine, John Ratzenberger, who voices bit parts in every single Pixar film. And when there's a new Pixar film out, I do get pretty excited and wondering who he's going to be voicing this time. But Ratzenberger is not my favourite part of this film. My favourite part is Cruz. I think Cruz is amazing. Cruz plays this personal trainer who is training Lightning McQueen because McQueen is feeling his age. He's even considering retiring from the circuit. But he decides that he is not ready, and he starts to undertake this kind of training regime, and he works alongside his coach, Cruz, to try and build up his stamina to have an attempt to beat one of the newcomers on the circuit who is very much pitched to be the favourite. Basically, somebody who is set to become the new Lightning McQueen. And in spending time with Cruz, first of all, there's a beautiful little friendship that develops over time. But Cruz, as a character, goes through this fantastic journey of realising there's an opportunity to realise her potential and acknowledging that maybe she doesn't have to give up on her dream, and that there are different ways of looking at things. This is quite an emotional installment in the trilogy, because obviously by this point we've spent a lot of time with McQueen. I've watched the three films over the course of a couple of months. He's gone from being the slickest car around to being quite old and almost decrepit in a very short space of time for me. But if you were a young child watching the first film and you've grown up with this film and you've watched it constantly, and then this is released and you find out that McQueen is actually about to retire and he's kind of downbeat and not his usual self, that's going to be quite emotional. So it's emotional on very different levels. Cruz as a character I thought was fantastic, but also both very funny herself and the source of a lot of comedy. The beach scene is one of my favourite Pixar scenes ever. I just thought it was fantastically well done. The comedic timing was brilliant, and the actual animation style was just sensational, and I truly adored it. The pacing for this is amazing. The humour versus the kind of more sentimental aspects, I think, are beautifully balanced. There are certain moments that you can kind of feel it getting a little bit more depressive, and then suddenly somebody will say something completely unexpected, almost dry humour, and it completely flips it around, and it's definitely got the tone spot on. There are some characters that I love. I love the school bus character, whose name I can't remember, but I thought she was brilliant. They definitely got the right tone and vibe for her. I could really feel like... What I mean is, I could picture her as a human. I could picture the characteristics of this school bus on an actual human, which is obviously what they're trying to do. These cars are meant to have human characteristics and come across as, different individuals from all walks of life, and that's certainly certainly what we're getting. I think it's beautifully done from start to finish. Really, truly adored Cruz as a character, but I also loved Lightning McQueen's his journey, his character development. Mater is not in this as much as I would have thought he would have been for a film that's this emotional. But he is in it, and when he is in it, it's fantastic. This is the first time when I've not found Mater to be too annoying. And maybe that's one of the reasons why he's not in it so much. Because he kind of steals the scene whenever he's in it, because he is so annoying. And sometimes it's funny, sometimes I feel like it's a bit too much and a bit over the top. But personally, I really enjoyed this. Cars 3 is my favourite. I hope they don't do a Cars 4, because I feel like, for me, this ended in a really nice way that worked really well for me, that I found to be very satisfying. However, they may do another one. I know that there is a series coming to Disney Plus. It might already be out on Disney Plus, I'm not sure. But either way, Cars 3 for me is, well, it exceeded all of my expectations. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. Even if you liked the first film, but you didn't really care for the second film, I'd say still give Cars 3 a go. Because it really is superior to the second film, and I thought it was absolutely exquisite.